On this episode of Two Women Sailing, we make our way toward Boston and are greeted with Hurricane Henri.
Stay safe, stay inside.
I'm Vanessa.
I'm Sarah, and we're Two Women Sailing. When we last left you, we were admiring the grandeur of Plymouth Rock.
How do they know that's the rock?
I think they could have put a fence around any rock.
How do they know that's the actual rock?
Look at my new hat. You know I had to get a new hat when we were in Plymouth. We are on our way to Scituate. We're going to stay at a dock tonight, and here's why. Because we have some chores to do. Laundry, we want to wash the boat. We need to get electricity to top off our batteries. We've been having some issues over the past several weeks with our batteries not reaching full charge. It makes Vanessa very nervous, as it would any captain.
We have solar, which is good, and it gives us a charge. We can limp by on the solar. We just don't have enough wattage for all this energy that we consume during the day. So we really need to be able to have a complementary recharge system, which we do not have because our alternator's fried. It's putting out 11 volts. You need to be putting out 14. So I found an alternator shop in Boston. So I get to take the alternator off, take it to the shop in Boston, see if he can fix it. If not, he does have a replacement that will fit. It's compatible. It's a Yanmar replacement. But it's going to be peace of mind if we can charge our batteries with the alternator and our solar, we'll be good.
On our way up to Boston, we do some great sailing and watch for whales to no avail. There are tons of crab pots, or lobster pots, but probably the most we've seen on the entire trip, just in the couple hours we've been out here today. We don't want to hit those because you get those wrapped around your prop, you're in a hot mess of trouble. Today, we head to Scituate. As mentioned earlier, it's a brief stop for us. Then it's off to the Boston Harbor Islands, which begs the question, did you know that Boston had islands? We're gonna spend one night on a mooring ball and one night at anchor before we go into Boston Harbor this weekend. So, what do you think, Captain?
I'm super excited. And it's a charming little town. It would be worth hanging out for a day and seeing what they have to offer, but all we explored was the laundromat. So, you know, living the dream, people.
While we're sad we didn't get to explore, Peddocks Island awaits us. As beautiful as this glassy water is, it doesn't make for good sailing, so Beverly, our engine, is put to work. It's just shy of a 17-mile trip, which makes for an easy travel day. And we know we're getting close when the ferries show up. Peddocks Island is a great staging anchorage for us. Because you know what comes next. Boston. At our anchorage in the Boston Harbor Islands went like that.
Oh man, it was so nice.
We're on the move. We're headed toward Boston Harbor.
I could mess around the Boston Harbor Islands for a week, probably. Just who knew?
We were nestled into a little cove called the Portuguese Cove.
Oh, we were?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, that's what it said on the map. And we had a mooring ball one night, and then we anchored right next to that mooring ball the next. Had we known, we probably could have anchored both nights, but it is a fabulous day. We're heading into Boston, and we're excited about it. As we move toward Boston, we get a good glimpse at some of the other harbor islands. And our path crosses through what used to be the Long Island Bridge. It once connected Long Island to Moon Island in Boston Harbor. It opened in 1951. In 2014, all access to Long Island was cut off indefinitely because the bridge was unsafe, and all those living on Long Island were abruptly relocated. It was demolished in 2015. We're traveling into Boston on a Sunday, which may have been a mistake. It's summertime in Boston, so anyone that has a boat or has access to a boat is definitely out on their boat today. Boston, you a busy place. Oh man. Doing a fine job, Vanessa.
This is not fun. It's a good story. I know. Is this thing moving?
I don't know.
I don't think they're moving. It just looks like it.
It is the coolest thing in the world to come up in your boat upon a skyline, especially one like Boston. Amazing. We hook up to our mooring and are stunned by this view. We're pretty happy to be here. The fun starts right away, the next morning at the generator shop. But we're in luck. There's nothing wrong with our alternator.
Yeah, it cost me $10 to save a couple hundred.
So we jump in an Uber to go have some fun. And we have our pal Sherry back with us. What should anyone's first stop in Boston be? Why, Fenway Park, of course. My mom treated us to a tour of the best ballpark in baseball. Thanks, Mom. My Red Sox fans know this stuff, but here goes for those who don't. Fenway Park was built in 1912 and is the oldest active park in Major League Baseball. It has many historical and unique features, one of which I've dreamed about for a long time.
What are you feeling right now?
This is awesome. I'm so glad we're doing this. We're going to the Green Monster.
Sarah, you're on the Green Monster.
Yes, I've always wanted to be up here. The Green Monster is the nickname for the 37-foot, 2-inch high left field wall. Despite its name, It wasn't actually painted green until 1947. It is the highest among walls in current Major League Baseball fields. Seats up here start at about $500 a ticket. Not sure I'll ever see a game up here, but so glad I got to experience it on this tour. Another cool feature, Fenway Farms, which provides fresh organic fruits and veggies to Red Sox fans at their park restaurants and concessions. Our behind-the-scenes tour was the highlight of Boston for me, but we did plenty of other touristy things as well. We're gonna watch a reenactment of Boston Massacre and such things.
The Tea Party.
The Tea Party.
And the massacre too?
Well, all things Boston Revolution.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Bati. We're in line at Mike's Pastries. Back to get some stuff. We're waiting in line. Is it gonna live up to the hype? Will it live up to the hype? We'll find out. Let's see. We've seen Fenway Park, threw tea into the harbor, got Mike's Pastries, and now we're exploring the North End neighborhood, Boston's Little Italy. It's a maze of narrow streets with some of the city's oldest buildings. We had so much fun in Boston. We even saw some college friends. But this vibe is about to change. This is the calm before the storm. We've been in Boston for 6 days now. Rain and other circumstances kept us on our mooring ball a little longer than we had hoped for. And then Hurricane Henry or Henri or however you want to call it started heading in our direction. We had some trouble yesterday morning trying to find a marina to get into because everybody had the same idea. And that was that they needed to get into a marina to get into safe harbor. We were able to work it out with the Boston Waterboat Marina, where we'd been staying on a mooring ball all week. Originally they didn't have any slips, and they called us back and said they were able to get us one, which is awesome. So shortly we will make our way into the marina, and we will be doing some storm prep today. And we're about to talk to the Boston Globe here shortly about storm prep for our boat. It's been like 30 years since Boston has been hit with a storm. And luckily, it just happens to be 2021, the year that we decide to sail away from Florida and head up north and get away from all this stuff. So
is this the first serious problem I'll say storm or nature-related problem you've had to face in the last few months, or what has been sort of the experience so far?
We've been caught in a couple of storms, as you would expect after 4.5 months of being on the water, but this is probably the biggest weather event, only because of the anxiety that comes with a hurricane. The basic rule is remove anything that can be removed from the outside. So we will strip her down from the outside so that there's no loose canvas or anything. We will fill the water tanks, partially because we need water, but also any additional weight is a good thing. We have every dock line that we have, and we will tie up everywhere, and we'll put every fender out that we have so that we don't smash into the docks.
we also did things like put extra wraps around the head sail and made sure it was wrapped up tight so the wind couldn't catch any part of it. We also prep and wrap the mainsail and put the dinghy on the foredeck and lash it down. It is a beautiful day. You wouldn't know that there's going to be a storm coming soon. In fact, you wouldn't know at all because no one else is preparing for a storm in the entire marina right now. which is interesting. Hopefully they're right. We're still talking 30, 40, maybe more than that mile-an-hour winds. So we're gonna go ahead and continue our preparation and just be ready. The morning of the storm, we venture out. The surrounding buildings have put up barriers to protect from storm surge. The city is quiet otherwise. The water is making its presence known. Our empty ball from the mooring we were on all week is bobbing around out there, along with all the other sailboats that are bobbing around now.
Looks a little choppy. Glad we're not out there.
It's probably 20 or 25 knots of wind, I'm thinking. I don't think it's more than 25.
Yeah.
There's a couple news crews as well. Thanks, Vanessa. Yes, out here on Boston Harbor, as you can see behind me, wind is picking up. We're probably approaching 20 knots, and the water is now coming over the seawall. We're at high tide, so it's going to be a very interesting day as we move forward here in Boston. I know other places are feeling it much more worse than we are, but as you can see, I got boots on the ground, and we're covering the storm for you. Back to you in the studio.
Stay safe, stay inside.
We're lucky because Henri's path has shifted more toward Long Island. Boston is still feeling the effects on the outskirts, but avoided a direct hit. Big thanks to the Boston Waterboat Marina for making room for us. So glad we're in the marina because look how much calmer this water is behind the breakwater and with all the buildings and boats around. That's all for now. We'll see you on the next leg of our journey. Oh, and one more thing. That Boston Globe article came out pretty good. I've dropped a link to it in the video description below. You like us, we like you. So go ahead and subscribe so we can see more of each other.